Hey everybody, we are in Oslo, Norway, and just a little bit of info about Oslo is during the Viking Age, this area is part of an area called Viken. Oslo was founded as a city at the end of the Viking Age at 1040 under the name of Oslo and established as a trading post in 1048 by Harald Harada. The city was elevated to a bishopric in 1070 and the capital under Håkon V of Norway around the year 1300. So a lot of history here. So we just ate dinner for the first time in Norway, and we ate right over there at a place called Sumo because, well, when you come to Norway, your first meal should really be Asian food, huh?
Yes. Yes.
Oslo is the economic and governmental center of Norway, and the city was also the hub of the Norwegian trade, banking, industry, and shipping. It is an important center for maritime industry and maritime trade throughout Europe. Now, Oslo is known as a city of the world, or a global city. It was ranked Better World City, and studies carried out by the Globalization and World City Study Group in a network in 2008. It is also the home of the Nobel Peace Prize or Nobel Prize awarding ceremony location as well. So we're going to try and get by that today. We're going to be here today, tomorrow, and then we leave the next day to go to Stockholm. So we're going to have plenty of time to come through the city and check out some cool stuff. This little area, every house is just painted different. It's really nice. What do you think? Great. So some other interesting facts about Norway. So Norway produces about 96% of its energy from hydroelectric plants. The rest of it comes from solar and wind turbines. Now, Norway is trying to get everybody to be on electric cars. So they substantially subsidize electric cars. So the car of choice around here are Teslas. Like every third car is a Tesla because they're subsidized so much. But I thought it's pretty cool that 96% of their energy comes from that, especially since they're a huge oil producing company or country. But they don't produce oil for themselves. They don't like to use their own stuff. They like to sell it so they can make all their money. If Norway closed their borders and didn't do any imports or exports, they could live for 150 years off of the money that they have invested because they invest their money versus just spend their money. So that's pretty smart. So basically, Norway, they take the oil money and they invest it. So they have a big portfolio and there's over $1 trillion US in it. And that's what I'm saying. Like there's enough to where they can make every Norwegian a millionaire using Norwegian kronos. So, or basically essentially give everybody $200,000 and they'd still have money left over. So they're not like Dubai rich, but they're pretty dang close. So what they do is they take this money, they invest it, and then they keep on growing on it. And because they're growing off of that money that they got invested, when inflation hits or whatever, or when the currency exchange rate adjusts, they adjust the oil production to keep it balanced so that it doesn't get out of control, so they can keep the value of the oil at the highest level they can. These Norwegian people, they're pretty smart. I wish people in America would think like that. So if you take a cruise into Norway, the cruise terminal is right there. There's a TUI ship in port right now, and you'll come straight forward out and you'll come right to this city center square. It's really cool. A lot of restaurants around here. And there's a Dansk Bank, so you can come over here and get some money if you need to. So when you come down, if you're facing the bank, go to your right There is an ice cream shop. There's a bakery and pizzeria. There's a Doug's Hamburger right over here by the pier. So it's right across from or diagonal from the bank. So on the boardwalk, they have some really good ice cream. So just come on down past the lighthouse. It's right by the clock. So if you're looking for some good ice cream, go there. So right behind me, the little boat thing, there's a couple of them there. Looks like you can rent them out. And they got wood stoves in there, I guess for the cold days. But you can go do a plunge. They've been plunging in the water and then going back in and plunging in the water and going back in. I don't know if I want to do that. I think I got enough water in Iceland. Did you have fun making pictures?
Yes, must be nice to have ice cream.
That was a little aggressive. So those little houses, you can drive them. That's pretty cool. One thing that's cool about Oslo is they have a lot of statues all over the place. They've done a lot of work around here to make this area look really cool. I think we're right by one of the cruise ports because there's a gangway over here and a big slip. We're gonna go check it out. But first, check this out. Did you see the statue? If you didn't, go back and look at it. Look for it. It's pretty cool. So I'm going to teach you some Norwegian. If you want to say hi or hello, it's hi. If you want to say goodbye, it's hi. Now, it is also common, if you want to say hi, you can say hi. So you can say hi for hi or hi for bye. It's kind of like aloha in Hawaii, where aloha means hello and goodbye. So here's some interesting facts about Oslo. One, they have crosswalks, but no crosswalk signals. So as soon as you walk into a crosswalk, car stop. So that's why traffic is horrible in Oslo, because every 5 seconds somebody's stopping for somebody on a bike or walking. Next is there are no public toilets. So make sure you go to the bathroom at the hotel. Third, every statue has a seagull on it. So where Oslo is now isn't where it used to be. This city is burned down 7 times. So they finally moved it away from where it used to be, and the king made it to where stone had to be for every building to prevent it from burning down an 8th time. saw my video on the statue park that we went to, that artist did several hundred statues, not only in that park, but they put them all around the city. And there are a few of them right here by this fountain. So behind me is the Oslo City Hall. Oslo City Hall is important because, well, not only is it the City Hall, but in that building right there, every year the Nobel Peace Prize is awarded. Alright, so the update. Our tour guide told us wrong. So we found a public toilet in the park in front of the palace. And in front of the palace and City Hall, there are crosswalks with lights. Other than that, there's nothing nowhere. Oslo is a relatively small city for being the capital city. So right behind me is the cruise port. Then right over here is the City Hall. Over here is the Nobel Peace Prize Center. And over up on top of the hill right there is the Resistance Museum. There's a little fort up there that's got some units that are still active in there. Their Department of Defense is there, things like that. But I'm walking pretty much from one side of town to the other side of town to go find some souvenirs for Heejin, because she's hanging out at the hotel right now. It's 18 minutes to pretty much walk across town. So not bad at all. If you're here for a couple of days, you can get around relatively easy. They have the electric bikes, the electric scooters, which is pretty cool. Also, they have a ferry that will take you across the, I don't know what it is because it's in Norwegian, but it's like a little channel, part of the fjord. But they'll take you across over there. You got the cruise ship terminal over here. They also have the world's largest ferry, so it fits 750 cars and goes from Oslo to Germany and back. So there's plenty of transportation options when you come here. So you can take fjord sightseeing cruises for as little as $22 for 50 minutes. They offer a 2-hour option as well. You can do sunset cruises. Those go up to $62 for the most expensive one. So relatively inexpensive considering we're right in the heart of Scandinavia and expensive prices are here in Norway. So the water is so pure here that they have these fountains that you can drink them. The tap water, perfectly fine to drink, and it's not treated because it's just so clean here, and everything's just glacier fed, or it's just pure nature. We went and had dinner yesterday, and the ice cubes were even so clear. It just looked totally different than American ice cubes that are kind of foggy and stuff like that. This was just like pure, clear, looked like glass. It was insane. So if you're here in Norway, same with Denmark, same for Sweden also. I haven't heard about Finland yet, but when you're in Scandinavia, you can drink the water right from the tap, perfectly fine. So up there behind me is the Resistance Museum. There's some steps that go along right by that orange container. They come down that way. So if you're doing the Resistance Museum and you want to get something to eat afterwards, you're just a short walk away from a bunch of restaurants, ice cream shops, things like that. So if you were watching my bus tour through Oslo, you would have seen this area. It's where we kind of turned around and went back through, and then we went up through the castle. From here, you can get a good view of where some things are at on the other side. So like I mentioned before, if you're going through the castle or the fort, if you're going through the Resistance Museum, you're about a quarter of a mile, maybe half a mile walk to all the restaurants. Okay, so if you can see the big white ship right there, to the left, that's a clock. To the left of that is a lighthouse. Okay. In between there is where Starbucks is. Right next to it is TGI Fridays. They got steakhouse, they got burger place, they got pizza place, all kinds of stuff as you keep walking that way. There's a ice cream shop right there as well. So you got plenty of things to do. And if you want to rent one of those saunas, they're right there by the clock. So if you want to go do that, now apparently they're clothing optional. And apparently so is the water. So if you want to live free, you can do that here. Well, after about a 20-minute walk, because I stopped and talked, I made it to the Oslo cruise terminal. Well, the old cruise terminal. They're taking the old cruise terminal, turned it into this huge gift shop. So we're gonna go check it out. I'm still looking for Dr. Sheldon Cooper, but I have not been able to find him. But what I have been able to find are some food trucks right over here behind me. So if you're walking around this area where the Nobel Peace Center is, where the cruise ships go out of for the sunset dinners and fjord tours, then you got plenty of options over here. And then down the strip, you got plenty of options as well, like I mentioned before. I'm hoping this name of this boat means something different. So apparently, if you touch bronze enough, it'll rub back to like a gold color. Some people, I don't know what their parents were thinking. But we're about to do an optional excursion where we are going to go through the Oslo fjord. So we're going to be riding this electric cruise ship all the way through. And that building right there, pretty interesting looking, that is the Opera House. And you can actually walk up the ramps and get to the roof. Let's get going. gonna get the true Scandinavian experience. It started to rain. This is the first time we've seen rain in a week of traveling. So about 10 days of traveling actually. So just gonna add to the experience. But I really like that opera house because that thing is fantastic. That's pretty neat, isn't it? You go running around circles on that thing. Run up it and then slide down it. So I just did a check to see how much it would cost to rent one of those for 2 hours and go cruise through the fjord. It is 42 NOK, which works out to $393 for 2 hours. You can fit up to 10 people in that. So you're looking at about 30 bucks split up between 10 people. So not too bad for 2 hours. You can sit in the sauna and go through the fjord.
For a swim in the lake.
Or you could go for a swim in the water. It's not a lake, it's a fjord.
Okay,
Difference.
still cold water. But dip in the water. Go to the sauna. Dip in the water. It's like, what is it? Ice bath. But cold, you know, when you're going from cold to hot to cold. I don't know. I'm confused.
Does anybody see ice out there? Our excursion is to come up into the mountains and get a beautiful view of the fjord and check out the ski lift from the Olympics. Let's check out this view. So when the Olympics were here in Oslo, they built this specifically for the Olympics. So that little white thing right there, that's the lift or the jump. And then this whole space right here is where they would land at. So it's pretty big. Let's check it out. Not bad for being built in 1952, huh? So you'll find a lot of people are running around it, and there's a lot of people actually running the stairs. They're not doing this one, they're doing those over there, but still quite impressive. just visited the Vigelands Park, and it's named after an artist named Vigeland. And there's over 200 sculptures here with granite, bronze, and iron. So we're about to go check it out and see what it's about. I was told by our tour guide that all these statues were done in nude so that they would be timeless and not be done in 20s and 30s attire that would not be desired to look at here in 2024. So if that is something that's going to bother you, then just like and subscribe, and then go find one of my other videos. what do you think of this park? What do you think of the arts? What's your favorite piece? It's interesting because you can look at some of these pieces and come up with 2 or 3 possibilities of what the interpretation should be. So it's pretty interesting. A little weird, but pretty interesting.
Thank you.